Come on, rock and roll. And then you got the Fathom recording, Gene. Okay. Okay, got the mute button there. Okay. Get my screen dialed in here. Boom, boom, boom. Share screen two. Give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. And what I want from you guys is just interact, man. Pause, stop me, ask questions, whatever. Okay. All right. So, welcome to this week's edition of the 10X Business Owners Mastermind Group call. My name is John Pyron, the business doctor, and I'm excited about this particular call because we're talking about one of the topics and the subjects that changed not only my personal life, but my business life. And so I'll tell you a quick story before we get started because every single business owner I have ran into, ever ran into, okay, this once I introduce this into their company, it changes everything because we're dealing with people. And at the end of the day, every single one of us speaks a different language. Every single one of us thinks differently. Every single one of us interacts with not only the people at our work differently, but in every area of every relationship in our life. And so I'm sitting in a Starbucks in Gold River, California, which is near Rancho Cordova, Cambodia, whatever you want to call it. Um, and minding my own business. And this guy named Phil, I didn't know his name was Phil, obviously, at the time, is sitting there with his coffee and his laptop, and we're talking, and he overhears a conversation I'm having with one of my employees. And I'm visibly and verbally frustrated. Truth be told, I was a jerk. Okay. Now I've since changed my ways. Otherwise, I would use some different words. But you get what I'm talking about. I was one of those business owners that you came to work for me, and I hired you, and I decided to pay you an hourly wage. I expected and demanded that you work and you do exactly what you said you were going to do in the interview. And the only reason I hired you at the time is because I wanted you to do things in my company I did not want to do. And I didn't care about your family. I didn't care about your friends. I didn't care about what you did over the weekend. I didn't care about anything other than you showing up and doing your work that I wanted you to do so I can make money. Okay. And that's where I was. I was a complete jerk. Okay. And I had already built $2 million companies. So I had a lot of pride. I had a lot of ego. I had a lot of, reading my own press clippings. I was all that and then some in my mind. Okay. So Phil's listening to me hammer on one of my engineers because I got a call from a client and a complaint from a client about him. Now, I didn't have the understanding or discipline on how to communicate properly to this engineer, and he's an engineer, okay? And I was 100% dead wrong, okay? And he knew it. And had I known behavior types and that he's a high C personality, I should never, ever criticize somebody with that personality unless I have actually done my homework. Okay, I've since learned that. But he sat there and he listened and he asked some questions. And the one question he asked is like, did you call me to yell at me, or did you call me to get my side of the story? Because what that customer said is 100% a lie. And this is what happened. He proceeded to school me from an analytical level how stupid I was and how wrong I was. And my response was, you know what? I've had enough of your crap. and how dare you talk to me? Go to your office, go to my office, get the check. Amy will have your final check ready before you arrive. You're fired. Okay. I get off the phone and I'm just like, I'm feeling great because I had all the power, blah, blah. I'm like a total ass, to be quite honest. And Phil over here, he goes, "Hey, sounds like you got some employee problems." That's all he said. I'm like, "You think?" We started talking. He's like, "You know what? I think I can help." I'm like, "How can you help?" He goes, "Well, I'm a behavior specialist. Okay. I'm an employee efficiency specialist. I'm the guy that companies bring in and I evaluate all the talent that you have and I get everybody rowing in the same rowboat, being as happy as they can doing the work that they have. Now, if you understand my personality type and where I am at mentally at that time, I didn't everything that came out of his mouth up to that point, I didn't give a rip about. Okay. But then he said one thing that got my attention. He said, and when companies actually do that and they put the right people in the right seat on the bus with the right skills and the right talents and the right training and everything, guess what happens to the business? I go, no, what? He goes, they make a whole lot more money. I'm like, it's almost like a take it two, right? It's like, did he just say what I think he said? Yeah. So I bring him in, right? He does an assessment for all my people. Okay. He comes back. Let me kind of share my screen here real quick. And he came back with something similar to this. Now, I have not, and I apologize ahead of time. I have not asked my team if I can do this, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyways and beg for forgiveness afterwards. Okay. Um, but this is my current team. Okay. I have now some of you on here, I don't have your assessment. You're on my team. So there's some homework there for you. Okay. So, but I got Michael over here. I got Gene Ortiz here. I got myself. I got Marek Vokic. I got my wife. I got Danielle, right? And we're all different personality types. This is our behavior. Okay. And so I just want to give you kind of a sneak peek there. Now, because that's where we're going. I want to show you how to leverage this in your team. So, anyways, Phil comes to my office. I agree to pay him. He assesses all my people. Okay. He comes back with a report like that. And I give him permission to contact all my employees and talk to them. I had 12 employees at the time. And and I was number 12. Okay. And oh no, wait, I had an ego back then. I was number one. Okay, let's just be very clear about that. Okay. And so he interviews all my people. He goes over their assessments with them all. He comes back to my office and he goes, "Okay, I've had an opportunity. I figured out your turnover problem. I figured out your profitability problem," because he knows my personality. He knows what I'm interested in at the time, and he's talking to me in my language. And that's the core foundation of behaviors. DISC is you learn how to talk to someone in their language. Okay. So he's sitting back and I got my desk here and he's there and he goes, now let me give you a sneak peek here. Okay. To kind of put this in context, because even though this was back in April of 2007, now I mentioned it's 2007 and we're now in 2025, and one of the things that I've learned over the years of doing this, people don't change very much. And so my D score back then, and I'll get into what that means here in a minute, was a 96 or 98 at the time. This is the first time ever that I have ever tested at 100. Okay. Now, as we get into our conversation today, you're going to understand why somebody like this is an absolute jerk without training. Keyword. Okay. And so he says to me and he goes, "Hey, I figured out your turnover problem." Because see, on my team, let me see if I can find somebody here. On my team, I had a Danielle. Okay. And so I had a Danielle and she's a sweetheart, right? She's Miss Relationship. Okay. and she cares about everybody, would cut off her left hand if she was told, hey, if you don't cut off your left hand, you're going to ruin the relationship with this person. Okay. Me, I'd be like, well, I guess I'm ruining the relationship. Not Danielle. She'd be like, oh my God, yes, here, cut it off. You want both? I mean, it's just a different way that we approach it. So Phil comes into my office, right? And he sits down and he looks across me. He goes, okay, here's the deal. I talked to everybody, your guy, Adam. Okay. The only thing I will recommend with your guy, Adam, you guys still seeing my screen? No? Okay. Share screen. Okay. I think I pressed the wrong button. Okay. So I thought I was showing the screen. So Danielle, she's over here. She's sweetheart, right? Okay. Me, I'm up here. I'm like this psychomaniac conductor dude. Okay. So that's where I was. And it hasn't changed. Okay. It's just that I have some new skills. So let me go ahead and flip the script here. And so he says, okay, here's the deal. I talked to all your people. You got some unbelievable great talent. I'm thinking, I paid you to tell me to sit here and lie to me? What the hell are you talking about? And he goes, no, your guy Adam, though, okay, you're not leveraging and utilizing his skills. And we can talk about that later, but let me talk about your assessment now. So he saved because I'm number one, right? He saved the best for last, Mr. Ego guy. Okay. And so he goes, now let me talk about you. I'm like, I'm rolling up my sleeves practically. I'm like, hit me with it, baby. He goes, I'll just say what he said. You are an asshole. And I'm like, okay. Like, tell me something I don't know. I mean, he goes, no. You're like, nobody likes you here. You're like, literally, you're an asshole. And I'm thinking, okay, all right, hold on, and I do this. I'm like, is that all you got? Like, I already know all that. And I'm, you know what? I'll tell you exactly what my stepdad said. This is what I'm telling Phil. I'm like, I'm damn good at it, actually. Like, if I could have had a plaque on the wall going, Chief Asshole, okay, I would have been like, yeah. Now, for those of you that are new to the Kingdom Impact conversation, okay, and new to Kingdom Impact Consulting Group, I am a sinner, okay, and so yeah, I am not a religious person, okay. I have a relationship with Jesus Christ, God, etc. Okay, and yes, I'm fallible just like any other human being, but thank God for His grace, okay, that He brought Phil into my life, because I didn't talk to Phil for 2 days. I was so mad that I had paid this guy to tell me stuff I already knew. I thought he was going to come in with a magic wand and change it. And he goes, no, unless you change, John, unless you change, unless you learn how to appreciate these people and communicate with these people, your business is never going to get to a level where you can walk away for a month or even a week for that matter. Okay. And so if you want to actually fix that, let me know. Now, the only reason I'm pausing here to land this point, there are some of you on this live call right now. There are some of you that own businesses. There are some of you that are listening to this recording, watching this video on YouTube, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're frustrated. You don't know how to get your employees to do their job, and you think it's their problem, and you think it's their fault. And if you could just find the right person, the clouds would part and manna would fall from heaven and the Red Sea would be parted. But I'm here to tell you, you're wrong, my brother or sister. Okay? And if you doubt that, call me and I'll spend time with you and let you know, hey, it's not about them changing. It's about you changing. It's about you understanding how to communicate with them and how not to communicate with them. Okay? How to leverage their strengths and minimize their weaknesses. So that way you can get to your goal and be free and be happy. So I want to give you, I'll just jump way fast forward. Click on that TTI assessment link. Take your, I've given an assessment to you for free. Okay. And so go online and take that. If you're on my team here, don't click that link. Okay. Because I have a special link for you for my team. So, let me copy, Gene, copy and paste that script that I put up there and put it in the chat window. Okay. But we're talking about behaviors here. Fast forward. We did $1 million that year, 1,037,000 with 12 employees. The next year, because of Phil's help, because of me changing, we did 1,047,000 with 6 employees. And because I learned how to change and I learned how to leverage my people's strengths, all the other 6 people that I had to let go because I was way overstaffed, I purposely spent time helping them find a job that was better suited for them. Because that's what happens when you allow God into your heart, okay? When you allow people, mentors to come into your life and speak truth into you, and then you actually realize I can get better. And I did exactly what Phil told me to do. It was so I can't even, I would not want to go through it again. Let's put it that way. It was such a humbling, painful transition for me mentally. Because the other thing he said to me is like, for the rest of your life, you're going to be a hammer. That is not going to change. That is how God created you. What I need to teach you how to do is how to communicate with others that are not a hammer. And I need to show you how to put some velvet on that hammer. And so with that said, I can help you leverage your talent and strength and minimize your weaknesses and hire people and put people in your company that are rock stars at your weaknesses. And that's how you're going to scale and grow. Fast forward June 1st, 2013, Schools Federal Credit Union at Watt Avenue and Folsom Boulevard at 1:35 in the afternoon. Not that I remember it. I'm with the notary signing the documents on the business purchase agreement and the asset transfer sale of my company for what, 6.9 times its valuation. I collect a big old nice check. I walk out talking to Randy Crockett. We shake hands and he parted ways and I did not have to stick around. Now, if you're a business owner, you know in your heart of hearts right now, you can't do that. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be here. You wouldn't even be listening to this podcast, this radio station, anything. You would already have done it. The only reason I was able to do it is I hired people like Gary. Okay. So Gary Henson's on this call. I hired people like Gary that I had respect for, not necessarily influence over. There's a key to hiring a coach or a mentor. And I got out of my own way and I listened to him. And he, not Gary, but somebody just as, well, not as talented as Gary, but they both have been in consulting. Now, I still have a relationship with Phil. Phil's been in consulting about the same time, about 35, 40 years. But dude, get a mentor. Okay? Because not every mentor is a fit for you. So here's the deal. Behaviors. Okay? Behaviors is DISC. DISC is defined as this. It's a universal language of observable human behavior. Okay, it has nothing to do with talent, skills, abilities, none of that stuff. It's the universal language of how you do what you do. A person's behavior style, or DISC, if you will, is not what makes them good or bad, right or wrong. Has nothing to do with that. Doesn't have the ability whether you can be successful in this job or this role or any of that stuff. It has to do with, how do I communicate with you? How do you communicate with me? And for those of you that are watching this recording that are self-proclaimed personality gurus, okay, you're going to learn something here today that you probably don't know. Because, and I'll back up just for the sake of you people, okay, is when you read this report, you might think in your mind, okay, that the proper way to read this person is a high C and a high I. And that is wrong. I know. Some of you are going to go back and fire whoever mentored you in this. Okay. The proper way to read this is the furthest away from this energy line. And you got to know both the dominant, the number one primary driving behavior, and the secondary behavior. This particular person is a high C and a low D, and that makes a huge difference in how you communicate with them. If you make the mistake of thinking they're a high I, you're going to fail in your communication with them. And so I want to go into how do you do that here today, so that way you can walk away. You don't even need to get a hold of me. You're going to be able to execute on this like immediately. Like, I want you to call your spouse or significant other or your favorite friend and practice this after this call, because you're going to have some skills that you didn't have. And watch how they respond. It is insane. I had a client of mine goes, dude, I tried it. Like, I met with my employee, and before I met with him, I reviewed his disc and how to communicate with him and how not to communicate. Dude, it worked. I'm like, yeah, I know. He's like, he did exactly what I asked him, and he was happy this time. I'm like, I know. And so, objectives of behaviors. Okay. Part of what we're going to do today is I want you to identify your style. And I'm going to share with you all the different styles, so that way in your mind, without even taking an assessment, you'll be able to identify that person. When you master the art of this, you're going to be able to have a conversation with somebody either on the phone or in person, or just watch how they stand and identify what their dominant behavior type is and know exactly how to talk to them. Okay. Because if I speak Spanish and you speak English, and all of a sudden I come up and I just start talking Spanish and you don't know how to speak Spanish, we are not communicating. Okay. Or, to honor Jean here, she's from the Philippines. Okay. If I wanted to go and talk to her in her language and her language only, and she didn't speak English, we would not communicate. Okay. And so, identify your style, identify, understand, and appreciate people who have different styles. That was the most difficult transition I had to go through. Develop a process to communicate with the different styles. And I'm going to give you the cheat sheets on doing that. What behaviors it is not. It is not intelligence. It's not motivation. It's not skills. It's not experience. It's not education. It's not training. Okay, remember the parable of the talents. You said, you know what? There's a guy that had 1 talent, 5 talents, and 10 talents. And go look up the story. Jesus talks about the talents, and look at the story. He's like, God gives us all talents, unique gifts and abilities and talents. Our gift back to him is what we do with those talents. Let me say that again. God's gift to you is your talents, your skills, your abilities, your personality type. Your gift back to him is what you do with them while you're here. Okay. So let's look into defining and learning the language. D, what is that high red bar? What is that? It is how you address problems and challenges. And there's no right or wrong here. Whether you're a high D, a low D, it is you. Okay. All of us have a D score. How we deal with problems and challenges. And I'm going to explain how to do it, how to look at that. You can just observe how somebody deals with problems or challenges. Just give them a challenge. Watch how they respond. How they respond and how they deal with that problem or challenge will tell you instantly what their D score is. Next, we have the I score. All of us have an I score. It's that yellow bar. It's how do we handle situations involving people and contacts. Okay. Are you a high I, like Danielle is and myself? Are you a low I, like Michael is? Okay. And in interacting with Gary, I can guess he's probably a low I too. Okay. See, I haven't even assessed him, but he knows. He's like, yep, exactly. Okay. I have no idea. We're still trying to figure that out. I got the FBI looking into that. Uh, so, uh, we all have an I score. How do we influence and interact with people? And you can tell just by how they talk. S, we all have an S score. Steadiness. Okay. It's how you demonstrate your pace and consistency, whether you love the status quo or you hate the status quo. Okay. Whether you follow the rules or whether you rebel against the rules. Okay. From a behavior standpoint, we all have that green bar, that S score. Next is we have finally Michael's number one dominant style, which is a high C. Okay. And it has to do with compliance. All of us have a C score. I am a low C. Me and Michael are 100% opposite. That's why we work together. Okay. Because if I need financials and taxes and accounting analyzed by somebody, I am not doing it. I know how to do it. I know how to read a financial statement in less than 3 minutes and tell you what the problem is. Do I want to do it every day? Absolutely not. I'd rather go have a root canal. Okay. However, Michael geeks out on that stuff. Like if he can analyze something and deal with procedures and constraints and analytical things, man, I mean, it's like he's never going to work a day in his life because he loves that stuff. Dotting the I's, crossing the T's, making sure stuff's accurate. I tell you this, man, you approach somebody with a high C score and you are going to criticize them, you better be right. Because 99% of the time, you're going to actually be wrong. Because they've already dotted the I's and crossed the T's. And they'll sit there and let you talk and look stupid, and then they'll school you. Okay? So let's hop into this. What's the difference? Here's the D factor. When it comes to dominance, right? When it comes to problems, they're more demanding if you're high on that D factor. You love confrontation. You're quick to anger. You're very active. You make decisions like that. And then you realize the next day, that was the wrong decision. You know? And so you'll recognize D people because they change their mind a lot. Now, Danielle and Jean, because you work with me every day, you are not allowed to shake your head or comment on this. Okay. So active, quick to anger, they change their mind too quickly, they get themselves in trouble. They're the person that you go to the car lot and he goes, hey, yeah, I mean, you can't afford that car. They will go into debt to prove that person wrong. Okay, because they want to win. Now, when you're lower on the D factor, you're slower to anger, you dislike confrontation, you do have a lot of humor, and you're more passive. You take your time. You actually read the contract. Okay. And so if you are a high D, you need to surround yourself with low Ds on your team. You need those people. When it comes to challenges on the right side of this quadrant here, a high D, their fear is being taken advantage of. Okay. So they are constantly evaluating the relationship. They are constantly evaluating the friendship. They are constantly checks and balances on what people say they're going to do. And because they don't want to be taken advantage of. Okay. When they're low on the challenge scale over here, they're more mild in manner. Okay. They don't have that fear. They have a higher trust factor. Okay. That's the D. Now, descriptors. Okay. Take a screenshot of this. I will send every single person that sends me an email, whether you're listening to the podcast or you're on the YouTube channel or you're hearing this recording a year from now. Okay. Send an email to jpyron@johnpyron.com or info@ Kingdom Consulting Group Inc.com or kingdomconsultinggroup.com. Okay. I think that's the email. I don't know. My team has set that whole company up without my involvement. I've just been notified that we launched. Okay. That's how trusting I am and how I have surrounded myself with all my weaknesses. Okay. There's a hidden message there for you as an owner. Okay. And if you need help with any of this stuff, I'm just going to throw it out there right now. If you don't connect with Gary Hansen, okay, and have him come in and meet with you, you're missing the most incredible opportunity you've probably had in your entire business life. Okay, the dude's a stud. Okay. So I had somebody reach out to me and is sending me a referral today. She's like, hey, I have a 200 person company and I've talked to them about you. They're going to need your help. I'm like, I'm not talking to them. Okay. I'm going to have Gary talk to them. Okay. Gary and I have a synergistic thing going on here. You're 50 employees or above. I'm not your guy. Okay. Because then I have to start dealing with your managers. I have to start dealing with your team, and all your people frustrate me. Okay. I'm the guy that you bring in when you're in startup mode to get you to the point where you have to hire a management team. And then Gary comes in and takes over from there. Okay. Because I don't want to deal with your managers. I want to deal with you as the owner, telling you what to do and watching you be successful and get your freedom. Gary likes to work with your management team, help you hire the management team, help you mentor them, help you put processes and systems in place, and help you get your freedom. Okay. And so Gary comes in and deals with people like with a high D factor, because most of small business owners will have a high D factor most of the time. And he has to show them how to get out of their own way. Okay. So this is the descriptors of the person. This is the value they bring to the team. This is their ideal environment. This is their tendency under stress. This is their possible limitations. And this is the emotion you will see from a D, high D person in a heartbeat. Here's how you recognize it. You're having a conversation with them. You're engaged with them. And then all of a sudden, down comes the hand on the table. Just get to the bottom line. Yeah. Or they go, hey, dude, time out. Can you land the plane? Just tell me direct. Like you could have had a meeting scheduled with them for 30 minutes. And within 2 minutes of the meeting, they're like, hey, whoa, time, just land the plane, dude. You're like, I thought I had 30 minutes. Yeah, but I want to know now, why are we here? Why are we wasting time? Now, if you don't respond to them like a D, you're going to lose the opportunity. So for those of you that like Michael and other people that are listening to this recording that are a low C, when a D does this to you, it's very intimidating. You're like, especially if you're dealing with a prospect or a client, you're like, okay, I'll just give you the bottom line right now then. And you give in. Wrong. You just lost all respect from them. Okay. What you got to do is like, hey, because you get into your presentation, you're going through the owners like, hey man, just flip to the last page. Let's see what's the number. How much is this going to cost me? They don't want to hear all the details, right? You just go, whoa, hold on, just a sec. Time out. When you and I scheduled this meeting, we had 30 minutes. Is that right? Yeah. We're 2.5 minutes into this, and you want me to jump ahead in my presentation? Either we had 30 minutes or we didn't. And if I can't get through my presentation, then we're not a fit. What would you like me to do? Oh, yeah, go ahead. You see, I earn their respect by doing that. Never, ever, 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 on a personal level or business-wise, back down from a high D personality. Okay? Because you will not close that deal. Just being honest with you. They're not going to have respect for you. And you don't have to do it all the time. You just adapt quickly because they ultimately want a result. Okay? All right. I factor. Now I'm going to talk about Danielle behind her back real quick. So you got to here, cover your ears. Okay. So high I. Okay. Off the charts high I. Okay. Seeks to influence, optimistic, outgoing, action. I should add the word fun to this slide right here. When it comes to people, the more fun, the better. The more people in the room, the better. Woohoo! Give me the mic, baby. Hey, everybody. Hey, I'm Danielle. Yo. Okay. High eyes, super fun. Okay. When they pull up to an event, they probably got a personalized license plate. Okay. They're flashy. They walk in, you notice them because of the way they dressed most of the time. and they will talk to everybody. Like there is no stranger in that room. Okay. In fact, the more people they can talk to, the better. In fact, they would not, you see them all the time. They go to the group, they would rather be surrounded in a group versus one-on-one. They're going to get bored very quickly in a one-on-one situation. And so you want, that's the observable behavior. Their fear is loss of social recognition. Okay. And so where a lot of you business owners out there make the big mistake is you got some high eyes on your team. You got them locked in the office. You got them stuck in a cubicle. And you wonder why they're unhappy. You wonder why they're not motivated. Or you bog them down with oh, we got to have this report. We got to have that report. We got to have this report. You got to do this analytical stuff. Man, they would rather go have a root canal. Okay. They would rather go jump off a cliff bungees with a bungee cord attached to them and have fun with the client versus calling them cold on the phone. So you have a high I person, you'll find them in sales a lot, in marketing a lot. Okay. The best thing you do, give them a credit card, but put a limit on that credit card, by the way. Okay. You got to have a credit card with a limit. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. They're going to max out the limit. Okay. So just have a low limit that you can trust them with. And you say, hey, you need to go out and you need to wine and dine our prospects and our clients. Okay. Your clients will love you for this, by the way. They'll be like, oh my God, I love Kingdom Impact Consulting Group. I get to have, oh my God, dude, I am so motivated about being a client and I have no idea why. I had lunch with Danielle. I'm like, no kidding. How can I help? I don't know. I don't know. You tell me how you can help. I just know I'm fired up about the company. Okay. So we all have these high I people in our life, and they're lovable. The best way for me, this is like the chimpanzee. Okay. So they're all over the place. They're bouncing around. They're super excited. They want you to be excited too. Okay. And they're influential as all heck. You send them to networking events. You send them to the Chamber of Commerce. You get them out of the office. If they are not interacting with people on a daily basis, you are underutilizing their skills. Now, your low I people, because we all have a low I score, okay? This is where they're pessimistic. Now, that sounds like a bad word, but you want that. You need somebody to second guess your decisions if you're a high I or a high D. Okay, you want them. They're skeptical, they're logical, they're passive. Okay. You need low I's on your team to protect you from yourself. Okay. This is where one thing I like about the team that Gary and I have decided to come together as owners and founders of Kingdom Impact Consulting Group. Okay. Both of us have had very successful coaching and consulting businesses, very successful business owners in our own right, and we've consulted thousands of people. And the reason we came together is to leverage each other's strengths. And we built a rock star team around us that literally have all of our weaknesses. And we're totally cool with that, by the way. Okay. So the thing is getting your people in the right seat on the bus is where we can really help. And so we have your high I's, right? We're going to show you how to leverage their strengths. Low trust factor if you're a low I, very high trust factor if you're a high I. Okay, if you find yourself being a high I, here's the best piece of advice I can give you that will save you millions of dollars over your lifetime. Don't sign contracts unless you have a high C look at it. Okay? Because you'll sit down, you're going out to buy a car, you're going out to buy whatever, and you're a high I. All the salesperson needs to do is identify your high I and spend the time. Oh man, what about the color? What about the color? Dude, oh, your favorite color is red? Oh my God, let me bring you a bunch of red cars. You're like geeking out. You're like, oh my God. Oh, you know what? Hey, those people that drove that car, you know what they did? They added the Bluetooth option. Okay. Oh, dude, can you imagine how much fun you would have if you had a Bluetooth option? If you had Sirius XM? Dude, just for an extra $10,100, we'll add the self-driving person technology to the car. Dude, can you imagine you're driving down the street in your red car and you're like doing this shit right here, right? And somebody looks over to you and you take your hands off the wheel and they're sitting there watching you, and you're sitting there like this, and you're just like, hey, what's up? What's up? Can you imagine how you're gonna feel? You're like, what? But that's the deal. That's why you want to have a high C with you or a high D, because they'll upgrade your purchase like, and it's not even a challenge for them. Am I right or am I wrong? Yes. Okay. Danielle's going, yep. So have a high C. Okay. Here's the descriptors: charming, confident, enthusiastic. Here's the value they bring to the team. They're just fun. Okay. Ideal environment. You need a high I in your company. Okay. They're the motivator. Okay. They're the ones going to bring this. Everything's positive. The world could be falling apart, and it's positive that it's falling apart. I mean, it's insane. It's awesome. Possible limitations: don't expect them to do paperwork or be organized. I just had this conversation with my team yesterday. Okay. And I'm like, hey, I know that, I know that I need Danielle out talking to people. Okay. She's out talking to people, having fun. I don't need to be bogging her down. Like, I need a report, but I sure as heck am not going to put it in her hands. Okay. Why would I do that? And now I'm going to speak to you business owners who got salespeople. Okay. Because sales is lifeblood, marketing people, lifeblood of your business. And you're bogging them down with all these stupid reports that you're having them do. Okay. All this analytical research stuff that you want to know about. Okay. When really you should hire somebody that has a high C or a high S to support them. And you will make 10 times more money, by the way. Just a kind of a free coaching session there for a minute. Okay. Optimism is their emotion that you see. Very positive. Okay. You want to cheer your day up, just go hang out with a high I. Okay. S factor. We all have a high S factor. My wife is a high S. Okay. Non-emotional is when they're high S. Non-emotional, slow to change, slow to pace. Okay. Now she also is a high I. So when she actually lands a deal or finds something that she's excited about, you can't contain her. Like, she is very emotional about it. But in her normal, observable behavior, slow to change, slow pace, okay, consistent. Biggest fear is losing security. These people are going to be the most loyal people on the planet. Okay. They're the golden retriever. Okay. They're the koala bear. Okay. They're the teddy bear. Okay. They will sit. They're the Labrador retriever that you just yelled at them, but they're going to sit outside your door, wait for you, and they're I'm glad you're home type thing. Okay. They're very, very loyal. Okay. They're passive. Okay. When you see them and observe them from an observable behavior, they're passive. Okay. But their pace is consistent. All you got to do to identify somebody high C is first of all, they're non-emotional. They're not outgoing. They're introverted. Okay. In most cases, high C's, introverted. High I's, high D's, more extroverted. Okay. So they in a meeting, they will not interrupt the meeting. They will not even participate in the meeting unless you ask them to, because they don't want the attention. Okay. They get very upset if other people do not follow the rules. My wife and I go back and forth on this all the time, because you know what? My S score is only a 5. Okay. I am an extremely, like, beyond extremely low S. And so when I coast through a stop sign, she's like, hey, I'm like, what? We're in a neighborhood, for crying out loud. There's nobody around. It's 1 a.m. Yeah, but it's a stop sign. I'm like, I don't care, man. It's easier for me to ask for forgiveness than it is permission. S's are opposite. Easier to ask for permission than it is forgiveness. The thought of having to ask for forgiveness will send them into depression. Now, I'm going extreme there, but you get my gist. Okay. Low C, quick to change, fast pace, active. You combine a high D, they're typically going to be a low S. And if you find a high D that's also a high S, they lied on the assessment. You need to go back and verify the questions that they answered. Okay, because they're like oil and water. They do not commingle. Okay. Now somebody asked me this question yesterday. It's like, well, my husband and I we're opposite personalities, and no wonder we don't get along. I'm like, no, 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 no. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You need to celebrate that. You can't create a puzzle with matching pieces. Okay. And I need to teach you too, as business owners, because you both own the business together, how to leverage each other's strengths. Your marriage is going to not only improve, it's going to be dramatic example of transformation if I could show you guys how to leverage each other's strengths and minimize each other's weaknesses. Signed on the dotted line. Okay. So here's the deal. All of us have an S score. Okay. Here's their descriptors: value to the team, ideal environment, tendency under stress, possible limitations. Their emotion is non-emotional. You can tell, hey, do you still keep in touch with the person you went to kindergarten with or junior high? Yeah. Yes. They have long-term relationships. These people will stay working for you forever. But if you screw them over, they're going to be your worst nightmare. Okay. And you will never earn that trust back. You find these people typically in an administrative role, a supportive role, an HR role. Okay. And they're the core foundation of it. Gary will tell you this flat out. You don't have your operational systems and processes dialed, and you don't have somebody making sure that they are enforced, making sure that everybody has the help and support they need. You're building your house on sand, not on rock. Okay. You need the high S in your team to create stability in your company. That's why it's called steadiness. Okay. Now, we all have a C factor. Okay. Mine happens to be a low C. Michael's is a high C. We're completely opposite. Okay. Michael cares about the details. I don't care about the details. I care about the result. Okay. So Michael and I, if we didn't know one another and we just met each other, he would be the guy that would be like, he's a jerk. Like, he's stupid, actually. That John Pyron, that guy, he's an idiot. Okay. And so now don't give me any emotion, dude. You don't need to nod your head or any of that stuff. Okay. So, but the high C, right? Okay, follows rules. Low risk, passive, precise about the use of time. Okay. They are accurate as all heck. Their biggest fear is making a mistake. Am I right or am I wrong, Michael? Okay. I've been coaching Michael almost a year. Okay. And I come up with all these great strategies for his business. And if it involves interacting with a bunch of new people, I could just look at him on Zoom and I could see the fear over his eyes. I'm like, he's like, and what's going on is he's thinking it through. He's like, because he first of all, he has to do everything he says he's going to do. Okay. Anything that comes out of Michael Colello's mouth, he has committed to. He is verified in his own mind that he can actually deliver on it, and he's going to deliver on it come hell or high water. And that's why I've added him to the Kingdom Impact Consulting team, is because I don't need him to be great at sales and marketing. Now, he still owns his own company, CS United. Every single coach and consultant in the world of Kingdom Impact Consulting Group owns their own business. Kingdom Impact Consulting Group is just a collaborative effort that Gary and I are putting together to support coaches and consultants all over the world. Okay, and help them be the best coach and consultant they can actually be. Okay, and so people like Michael, we bring in. I put Danielle on his team. I put Gene on his team. I'm like, I'll have Danielle and Gene handle your marketing. I'll have Danielle and Gene handle your sales. I'll have Mark build out your funnels. We will drive as many clients to you as you want. You get me on a call with them. I'll be the sales guy. I'll close the client for you. I just need you to be the best accountant and tax strategist you can possibly be, because he is an absolute stud at it. You want somebody to dig into your financials? You want somebody to be accurate with your accounting? You want somebody to hold your internal bookkeeper accountable? Hold your accountant CPA accountable? Hold your tax guy accountable? That's this dude. Now, I know even just saying that, it creates a little fear in him because he doesn't know you. And that's where that fear comes from, is he doesn't want me to overpromise what he can do. But I've worked with the dude for a year, and I have a full confidence that he will dig up anybody's butt when it comes to finances and tax strategy, and he won't sleep until he finds you the answer. Okay? So that's a high C. When it comes to being a low C, for those of you that are low Cs, constraints are your enemy. You don't like them. Okay? You're active. Okay? You're a risk taker. You break all the rules. In fact, if somebody actually, if you're a low C, like myself, okay, if you're a low C, your mission is to break the rule. I'm just going to be honest. It's like, you want to give me a rule? No problem. You want to motivate John Pyron? Tell him you can't do something. Tell him something's not possible. Okay? It's the only reason I'm doing what the heck I'm doing right now. I did not want to be a business consultant. Okay? I did not want to be a business coach. What I wanted was the money. What I wanted was the freedom. Okay? But what I did not want to do is to sit and listen to people's problems and have to deal with it. I wanted to get, and so as a result, I tried to be a coach for the first year and a half. Gary's a great coach. Great. That's why Gary and I are going to get along. We get along so well. It's like Gary has the patience to ask you a bunch of questions and be interested in your opinion. Okay. In my world, I'm not interested in your opinion. Okay. After 900 businesses, I want to know, like, and trust you, and I want to believe in you, and I want to help you achieve your goal and your dream. And I want to get there as quickly as possible. I'm the guy, I'm the William Wallace dude that you bring on the team with the sword. Okay, it's not going to be pretty. Okay, but we're going to win the war. Okay, so, or I'm going to die trying, which is what happened to him. Okay, then Robert Bruce, the high S, the high C, okay, came in and he said, I don't want to settle. I don't want to be this. I'm going to be a leader. It took William Wallace's death for him to rise to the occasion because he wanted to. Okay. So high C, accurate, analytical, all that stuff, value to the team. Here's their ideal environment. Here's their tendency under stress, possible limitations. Okay. Biggest emotion of a high C is they have a lot of fear of making a mistake. They don't want to be wrong. Okay. Low C's, on the other hand, it's like thinking, it's not their jam. Okay. So here's the recognizing disc styles. Okay. This is a cheat sheet. I'm going to send anybody and everybody this PowerPoint. Okay. info@kingdomconsultinggroup.com or johnpyron.com. That email will be around until I die. And then somebody, whoever gets it will take it on. But I'll do this for the next 25, 30, 40 years. God lets me live that long. Okay. But exercise this stuff, put it in your workplace. If you want me or Gary to come in and do this with your team, absolutely have us come in and do it. Okay. I've seen this transform businesses. My own business in the beginning, that's how I became such a believer. And I've watched this transform businesses and take them from an EBITDA percentage of 10% to an EBITDA percentage of 40. Okay. I've seen it take a company from a sale factor of 1.5 to 2 times its value to a sale factor of 5 and 6 times its value. Okay. And so here's some cheat sheets. When you're having a conversation, when you're sending an email, when you're receiving an email, when you're trying to avoid the try to avoid the following, right? This is how you communicate with these people. Okay. We all have an adapted and a natural style. You'll get that in the assessment. And for the sake of time, I'm going to let you guys come down to an event that we're doing in February. Okay. And to tell you how much I depend on my team, I don't even remember what the title is. I just know that we're doing an event. See, Gary and everybody else on my team knows me. I'm the lead sled. I'm the lead dog on the sled team. I have no idea what's behind me. Okay. I just know that people are throwing tomatoes at me and I'm plowing forward and I'm freaking off, jamming because I got a great team behind me. So if you want to know how to create that team, this event we have going on the week of February 17th, show up. Okay. We're going to give it to you for free. Okay. If you want a VIP option, we're going to show up an hour earlier and we're going to give you some live one-on-one coaching for your business. Okay. And it's worth it. Okay. And if nobody buys it, no problem. I'm bringing my own dang clients on there and coach them live on there and help them out. Okay. But if you want that spot, Gary, I think the only thing, we're only going to be able to have enough time in an hour for maybe 5 or 7 people. Okay. So we're going to, Gene, I'm going to put that out there right now. We're going to limit it to no more than 7 people that sign up for that VIP option. Okay. Because we're only going to have an hour. And I know Gary's heart, and I know my heart, we want to actually help everybody on that call. Okay. And then you can stick around from whatever time we decided on. I don't know. I think it's noon or whatever. We're going to go on 2 hours. Okay. Now I'm promising you 2 hours. Okay. But the last time I did something like this, people stuck around for 3 or 4 hours. I don't care. Like, I'm going to go. I'm going to give it all to you. Gary's going to give it all to you. We have several other speakers. Go and register and get your ticket now. Okay. It's like Christ said, it's like, you know, a master of the banquets, got his banquet all prepared, right? Got everything prepared. Now, back in that culture, when they were having a party, they sent out the invitation a couple of weeks ahead of time. Hey, we're going to have a party. Okay. And then, so everybody was notified. Everybody said, yes, I will be at the party. Okay. And then the second invitation went out when the party was ready. Okay. And so he tells this parable of the guy sent out the invitation. Everybody said they were going to go. On the day of the party, nobody wanted to come. They had all kinds of excuses. My dad's dead. I got to go bury him. I've got to deal with this. The cat had diarrhea. My camel, okay, broke his leg. Okay. Whatever, right? They had all kinds of excuses. The master of the banquet was so mad because he went through all this expense of setting it up. He said, go out and find people on the street. Okay. Bring them all in. Okay. Okay. Well, okay. We brought them all in and we still have room. Okay. You go and knock on every single door. You go to the homeless camps. Okay. You go everywhere. You fill the banquet. Finally, it was full. You know what he did? He closed the door. And all of a sudden, all the people that were invited showed up late. And they're banging on the door. Let me in, let me in, let me in, let me in. And they're like, no, sorry. Get out of here. You missed out on the party. This event we're doing in February is going to be one of our biggest events that we've done all year. Okay, it'll probably be the biggest event we do all year. And I highly recommend you cancel whatever you got going on and be there. Okay. It's going to be, I think, what do we got? Like 5 or 6, like unbelievable rock star coaches and consultants that are going to deliver their best. And then we're going to have a panel discussion at the end for the audience to ask whatever question they want. Unbelievable. Okay. So show up, make it happen. I hope this has been valuable today for you. If you want me or Gary or anybody on my team to come in and do this type of presentation and training for your team, let Danielle know. Okay. Let Danielle know, dcollins@johnpyron.com or info@kingdomimpactconsultinggroup.com. Okay. And she will get you on the phone, make sure you're not a serial killer, and then we'll come out and meet with you. I'm just kidding. No, I am actually very serious. We're not going to meet with serial killers, by the way. Okay. Just we have some standards here. Okay. I hope this has been valuable for you guys. Go out and make it happen. Later on today, this will be live on my website right after we end the call here. And then there'll be links and stuff to resources over the next 24 hours, and go out and make it happen and register for it. I hope this has been valuable for you guys. You guys get a lot out of this today? Okay. All right, guys. Love you guys. Have a blessed week. And I'm going to, we'll still have this call next week. I'm going to be out of the country. So my team's going to rock and roll on that. I have no idea what they have planned. I'm going to trust them and not insert myself. Okay. Because they are better at this than I am. All right. Go out and make it happen, guys.